Go through? Is it gonna go through? Is it gonna go through? It says it's sending data. So all right, we are live. So welcome to the AEW 2024 Dynasty review. Full show review. As always, we got guests, we got good people, and we had a blast watching it. We just got done watching the watch along of it. Like I said, it's one of the better AEW shows this year. I would honestly tell you this would stack up to one of their top shows for the year for me. I was very blown away about a few things, but I'll let these gentlemen speak. We got Phantom in the building. We got Retro Collective, and we also got Icon. Say hello, gentlemen.
What's going on, guys?
Sup?
Go ahead, Brady. I think Brady stepped away. Let's talk about it. So matches of the night so far. What were your guys' matches of the night?
Danielson versus the Danielson match was fucking amazing, even with the potential injury on there. Ospreay is probably one of my favorite wrestlers. It's a younger wrestler.
Icon, what's your match of the night? What would that go to?
It's kind of close up, but I have to go with Samoa Joe and the other dude, and it's like really close with that. And what is it? What Phantom set as well. So yeah.
Is Brady back? You back? Brady should be back here.
Drowning his waterboarding his mic.
It's all good. We're live. It's all good. I'm gonna say both. I'm gonna go with, and I'm also gonna go because people call me a fanboy for women's matches. So I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go for the shock factor of the night, going to Jack Perry showing back up and being part of the Elite. Good. That needed to happen. That's how you reintroduce somebody. 2, I would say Willow Nightingale and Julia Hart. I thought was a pretty decent match, and titles had to change there to set up the feud. So Tony Khan is setting up things, properly. But Strickland needed to win the title. How much more could you have this guy do to win the title? And then can we just say Danielson, one son of a bitch, bro? Like, I'm just saying, a son of a bitch that fucking took that in the chest. I'm just saying.
I would probably have rated the ladder tag match. Probably would have gotten a better rating if it wasn't for Danielson potential injury right beforehand. It's like you don't want to go from an injury into a match that can be like brutal with another potential injury with because it looked like Dax might have gotten hurt too.
Yeah. I would honestly tell you, with Dax being hurt, I mean, it kind of played really into the injury stuff, and the things like that. So the crowd kind of fizzled off after Danielson, and and I don't know. I'm kind of torn. I'm really kind of torn on the idea of the ref should have called the X sign, but at the same time, I'm like, I didn't expect shit like that to happen like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I didn't know what to expect, and I was very just blown away that they didn't call the X sign there. Danielson looked like it was more of it didn't look like shoulder, it looked like neck injury. I don't know, one of the two. We're gonna find out in the next couple of days. If it's neck, will this be the end of Danielson's career? That's gonna be the question. Or is he playing it off? We're gonna find out which one it was, because he was looking at his fingers and he was flailing. Like, you could tell he was flailing. Welcome back, Retro. I don't know if Retro can hear us or he can hear us. So, can you hear us, Retro? Yeah.
If he's having issues, he should probably disconnect and reconnect.
Yeah, I think he should just restart his.
Nope.
Oh, we can
Oh,
hear you.
there.
Okay, no, my stupid ass. Hold up. Let me just do something real quick.
It is all good.
Where are you at? Play some video.
So Billy says the pay-per-view was great. Yes, I'll say it's one of the better AEW pay-per-views of the year. I would put it up there with Revolution. I would put Revolution over though, just because the way they treated Sting. Honestly, the way they did Sting was perfect. So right now that's kind of the bar for me, but this is a solid like it could go up between the two. Will I stack it up to WrestleMania? No.
WrestleMania was fantastic.
WrestleMania
Well,
still got the bar.
Well, I mean, you also can't try to compare Dynasty to WrestleMania. This isn't like Revolution. Like Revolution compared to WrestleMania would be more of a fair assessment.
Very true. Brady, what did you so you came in kind of late, so you were kind of saying the same thing we were saying about the X signs. There should have been X signs thrown up at people.
Well, once you see a wrestler's hurt or looks seriously hurt, and you have a concern, you you have a split-second decision to make that decision to throw that X up, and you better do it right. Danielson looks really hurt, and it looks like it's a serious injury. It looks like it's real serious.
Yeah, there was tons of officials that came out and was like swarming the ring. You could tell like it was really serious when you have a lot of people running the ring. Now, speaking of, we did watch the kickoff show. I really thought the kickoff show was pretty decent for what it was. The crowd was really into it. I thought Shibata did a good job. I was watching that with Phantom earlier. Shibata did a great job. I would honestly tell you, Shane Taylor Promotions, they're pushing these guys. They're pushing new talent, unfortunately. So, got to give it that. Again, this is where AEW shines. AEW shines in the wrestling department where WWE gives you entertainment. And you're going to see that more and more as this year goes by. But Tony Khan's been well known for being Mr. Pay-Per-View. He books great pay-per-views and then, you know what I mean? And then shows he's kind of weird with. So we'll see how this carries into, into Dynamite, Collision, Ring of Honor.
I'm really hoping it's a turning point for him because I kind of fell out of watching wrestling after MJF left, but I'm definitely going to be catching the next shows as they come up just to see how this keeps unfolding because I'm happy Swerve won. I mean, I'm a big Samoa Joe fan. I think I love everything Samoa Joe's done, but I'm ready to see Swerve, ready to see him what he's going to do.
I'm hoping Swerve holds that belt for a good 6 months. That's what I'm hoping for. I get Will Ospreay, and I totally get Will Ospreay's there, and he's the front runner, right? All In is happening in August, right? So for me, I want Swerve to win it on the biggest stage. What I would like to see them do is have Ospreay and Okada. I know that's been done in New Japan too many times, and I get it, but you do not want Will Ospreay to have his moment off of Strickland. Strickland needs to hold that belt, I would say, all the way up until World's End this year, and have MJF come back somewhere in between all that, and you start that feud. There's no other way with that one. You have Swerve beat people right now and have Swerve look really good, and then you have MJF coming back off of injury. And what you could honestly do is, if you really wanted to, and I know a lot of people are not going to like me for this, but MJF it's hard because MJF would come back as a face, which is hard for me to say that because I like him as the devil, but you have to have him come back, win title, and then go get Adam Cole at some point. Because Adam Cole tonight, again, Adam Cole coming off that injury, looked like he's healthy. So we're going to see more Adam Cole. Let me get to comments here. I didn't want the Young Bucks to win at all. What a joke. Well, okay. It was predictable. I knew what was happening. They were going to bring in Jungle Boy. You know, they didn't do a really good job of bringing Jungle Boy in, but, Jack Perry. Sorry, I got still used to calling him Jungle Boy. But it was predictable. Let's just be real. It was very predictable. What do you guys think about Jack Perry being back?
I'm fine with it, especially if I don't really give a shit about what happened at All In. CM Punk has been kind of leaving like a bad taste in my mouth when he was in AEW, just for being like I get he's supposed to be a punk, but he was just being a shithead and trying to like control everyone while he was there. At least in my opinion.
I could see that. I said that throughout videos, so yeah, I could see that.
So there was, and from what we already saw, Jungle Boy or Jack Perry didn't really do anything to merit him getting basically like half-ass fired. So it's good to see him back. He might not be the most entertaining wrestler, but he's still a good talent.
Brady, what do you think of Jack Perry coming back? You a fan, not a fan? You think he's going to be great doing good things with the Elite? Because he did throw up the Elite signs tonight. I don't know, Brady. We lost Brady again. I'm not 100% sure. Retro. I don't know if we lost him. We'll go to Icon.
Well,
Icon, what did you think? Jack Perry being back after the whole situation and everything. What do you think? Him joining the Elite. What do you think?
I would probably say it might be good, but despite being on the predictable point at like the near end, and it's just a little bit, not thrilling. Like what is it? To the, I guess, a point. But if he turns as a heel, might be a good opportunity for him to run with it for now, for like the time being.
I could see that. I will say, coming out tonight, a lot of you are talking about Danielson looking really injured to me. It looked like he has a neck injury of some sort. I don't think it's shoulder. I think it's neck injury. I think when he came down, when he did that one move on the top rope into the other move, I think his neck snapped back. And you could see kind of how football players, right, when they get a concussion, right, they start flailing their arms. That's what was happening. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to take a hot take on this one, and I don't know if you guys agree with me here. I think Danielson should retire. I just don't like him looking that way, and that's not what I would want to remember him for, is going down like that. I'm okay with him having 5-star matches when it's done right, but when you're asking for these moves to be done with the neck injuries you've had, with the brain injuries you've had, I just think it's absurd, and I think you should retire. Save your dignity, you know what I mean? I don't want to watch you really hurt yourself to where you're in a fucking wheelchair. I saw that with Junkyard Dog, or what was the guy that was the European champion, that was the British Bulldog? I don't want to see that shit, man. I don't want to see wrestlers like what's his name right now, that big bulky guy was on the first Nitro, Lex Luger. I don't want to see that from all the injuries, man. I don't want to see a guy in a wheelchair personally.
Hello?
Yeah, I hear you.
Cool. I got my microphone fixed. Sorry about that.
I was asking you, what was I asking?
It was about Jack Perry.
Jack Perry, what did you think?
Jack Perry, I didn't see him come back because I was out of the room, but I'm going to tell you this right now. Like, Jack Perry is probably one of the best talents that AEW has. Bringing him back into the fold is a smart maneuver by Tony Khan. That kid has charisma. He's a great athlete. He knows what he's doing in the ring. He knows how to talk on the mic. This kid is going to go places. And like they just need to put a rocket on this kid's back and send him off to the moon. Bringing this guy back, he's going to shit all over CM Punk. And that's a good thing. That's a very good thing, because AEW right now, the CM Punk situation really screwed them. It's because everybody's looking at the entire roster as a bunch of bums. Because when the CM Punk left, it was sort of a turning point for AEW, because they couldn't keep any big talent, and that's the problem. So they need to bring in this young Jack Perry and really put him up to the moon because he has a lot of charisma and he has a great, great, wrestling spirit in him, and he'll do wonders. But they just got to go ahead and work him right.
Build on top of, the problem that didn't help AEW, what didn't help them is MJF went down injured. And then you had Jamie Hayter behind you. First you had Jamie Hayter, major pillar, right? Then you had MJF. Then you have Keith Lee that's hurt. You have Miro that's hurt. You got a lot of people that are freaking hurt, like, in AEW. And I was telling this to either Phantom or somebody else in my chat the other day. Like, half of your roster's hurt. Like, AEW will flourish again. They're going to do that behind. I think Will Ospreay and I think Swerve are going to be the new blood right now that's going to push AEW forward. I think bringing back a Jamie Hayter, because she's coming off injury, Thunder Rosa. They need to do something with Monet at this point. Monet, I'm sorry to say this, but Monet is going to become a bust real quick if they don't pull the trigger with her being champion. I know Willow's going to be a transitional champion, and I know Willow's going to get fucked out of this, and I hope out of this they gift her with the AEW Women's World Championship. You know what I mean? They're going to have to do something for her because I feel bad, at the end of the day, because she's going to get a rough deal because you got to give it to Monet. You didn't sign her for all that money not to give her a belt of some sort. If not, AEW fans are going to riot and say, what are you doing, Tony Khan, at this point? And honestly, I'm going to say this, and this is a hot take, and I don't know if you guys agree with me, but I'm going to go this far. The last 4 weeks of Monet, I just don't think she's threading the needle like that for me, like she did in WWE.
Well, here's the thing. Like, Tony Khan spent too much money on Monet.
Yeah.
He spent way too much money on her. And I want to be honest with you. Like, Mercedes Monet, Sasha Banks, whatever you want to look at her and say, she's not. I mean, come on. Come on,
right.
Man.
What do you guys think? What do you guys think of Monet? You think she's when she came out tonight, were you like all about it? Because tonight, I wasn't really about it. What do you guys think?
I mean,
go ahead. Sorry.
I like her as a wrestler. She's a half decent wrestler, but with her foot injury, I feel like she's just so cooled off right now. Like, they haven't really heated her up to be like, all right, let's hit it. We're going to give her this fucking belt. She's going to take off with it. I just feel like it's a cold start. So I can see her maybe fumbling a bit when she finally does come in and then finally finding her traction and picking up. But like right now, I'd rather see Willow just hold on to the belt for a little while because I like Willow. She's a good wrestler other than,
Icon, what do you think? Do you think Monet's kind of fizzled off?
I would probably say a little bit more than needed. I'm not trying to trash on her, but she's mostly injured, and he kind of hyped her up a little kind of too early, or to the point on filling up, it wasn't really quite there yet, honestly, compared to maybe the match a little bit, but I don't know. I'm not seeing what Tony Khan kind of bringing to the table though over anything though.
All right, I'm gonna read this one. I believe Will Ospreay will be champion at some point, no doubt. I think Continental Champion will be perfect. You don't want to take Swerve off the run he's going to be on, right? If you're bringing in, go ahead.
I think Ospreay should stay away from the World Championship, the AEW Championship, for now. Definitely not indefinitely. Let MJF come back, all that stuff happen with the world title, and then when all that stuff settled, there's too much in the orbit of the heavyweight title. Let him go after something else. Get that, have a great run with it, and then, if he loses that, then have him go for the, the
Right.
world title. Let other things settle before we send people into something that is already a little overcomplicated.
Now I'm with Phantom on the idea of Monet came in cold. Maybe Phantom said it earlier that maybe I'm rushing into things as a wrestling fan. I have the, commentator YouTube mindset with the IWC, YWC in my mind. And maybe I'm just too hard to be critical sometimes. And you're right, I am. I jump into things. I'm harsh because I'm a wrestling fan at heart. And I want, to see people that I've loved in other companies flourish somewhere else. But I could see your point on Monet. Monet is going to start out cold if she's coming in injured. If you signed her for a lot of money, like $9 million or plus, you got to pull the trigger anyway. You have to have her on television, no matter what, if she's hurt or not. You want to get your return in investment. So I get it. But Willow should keep the belt, yes. But I think Tony Khan is going to have her be more of a transitional so they can have this feud. But then I can also see maybe at they can lead this all the way into All In. They're basically Mania. They can lead in, and Willow can lose, maybe in a triple or a 4-way to Monet, and she stays protected to where she didn't really lose the belt, but then can regain it back over time. I could see that happening. I could see fuckery happening to Monet. To where Monet comes in and gets screwed over by possibly maybe a Britt Baker if they wanted to. I'm fantasy booking at this point. Britt Baker if they wanted to pull the trigger like that, because you got to think about it. Britt Baker's been on the up and up right now on getting off injuries and stuff like that. When do you think MJF will return? When do we think MJF will return? Probably somewhere. I'm assuming. You don't want to rush MJF if he had 3 different injuries, right? Hip displacement, because he had surgery for that. A torn a labrum, and then he had another injury. So 3 different injuries. He took more time than it was needed to go get surgery. So I don't know how these gentlemen feel. I don't want MJF coming back being 50% of himself. I'd rather him rest.
I'm a big MJF fan, and as much as I want to see him back as soon as possible, I also want to make sure he's good to go. Like, I don't want to see him hurt again. So as long as he needs.
And let Swerve have time with the belt. You know what I mean? Let Swerve let him have his flowers for a while. You know what I mean? Let him have his moment. And then you bring in MJF, and then you start that feud that you had with him. Now, I would like to see it at an All In, maybe All Out, All In. If MJF is, because MJF, if he did delay his surgery, as the reports did say, 30 days. So from January, about August, July would be 6 months. So yeah, I would love to see MJF back, but I want to see him healthy. And that's the same with Danielson. I don't want Danielson in the ring anytime soon. Good God, if he shows up on Wednesday, it better be I'm going to be gone for a while, because I don't want to see him in a wrestling ring. He does not look healthy. And that man's been going like a locomotive, and it's time for him to take a step back. Part-time, I'm cool with him doing part-time, maybe a manager. I don't want him in a ring. Because it could take one time, and I saw it with Paige. One time in the back of the neck, it's over. And that's what I saw tonight from Danielson. He took one bad move, and that was that. Can't wait for MJF and Adam Cole. Yeah, they'll probably pull that. They'll probably pull that trigger tonight. Adam Cole finally, Bay showed up in the building. He's off injury now, so he's back. So that's a good thing. That's one piece you need back. It looks like Wardlow, from what we saw, I don't know if these gentlemen picked up on it as I did, but it looked like Wardlow. It looked like Adam Cole turned at Wardlow and looked like you're going bye-bye. You're the next to go bye-bye. Out of our group. Out. So I don't know. Did you guys? I think you guys picked up on that when we were watching that. Adam Cole was gonna go get rid of Wardlow at some point.
Oh yeah, he had given
Yeah.
he was giving him such the evil glare. Like he's not. There's definitely something coming out of that one.
Here's the thing, as Phantom said earlier, AEW has a lot of injuries, so a lot of things have gone ice cold. Now, what Tony Khan's got to do now is he's got to turn the gas up now. You got Adam Cole back. You're going to probably get a Jamie Hayter back. You're probably going to get these people back slowly, right? So now you're going to have to start, AEW, yes, they're cold right now, but they're starting to heat up a little bit more. They need to do pay-per-views and shows like this, momentum going forward like this to be successful. And stay in their lane. If they stay in their lane and not even try to compete with WWE and not try to do we got to take jabs at WWE shit, they're going to be fine. They're number 3. They're number 3 in the United States for a reason for combat sports. There's a reason why they're there. So
I don't mind them taking jabs at WWE every now and then, but
yes.
But a while ago it was like every week. You're just like, all right, that's enough, dude. Guys, like, can we come up with your own stuff, do what you got to do, but you could be like, oh, trips, something like that. Like little nods is fine, but now we're gonna release the backstage footage of what happened between CM Punk and Jack Perry, and you're like, okay, but that was 6 months ago, guys. We've moved on.
One match has been set for Double or Nothing, and that's so far Willow Nightingale and Monet. That's been set up. So I hope we'll see Kenny Omega return at some point. Well, Kenny Omega just had surgery. He had diverticulitis surgery. He's been delaying it for a while, and that's got to be excruciating pain. So he will be back. What do I see when he comes back? So recovering from diverticulitis is 6 to 8 months. Brock Lesnar didn't come back for 6 to 8 months when he had diverticulitis, when he was transitioning between UFC and WWE, when he was making his comeback. So for me, I just want Kenny to be healthy. That's the same. I think this is the same as all of us here want to see him healthy. He puts on bangers of matches. I feel that 2 years of his career had been robbed due to injuries. That was out of his control, and he was trying to really kind of just, go on with them, and he didn't realize that the big one was coming. Well, it was out of his control. I feel sorry for him. But I hope he comes back and wins a title, whatever that may be for him. I think this Kenny Omega that we're going to get back is a Kenny on a mission. I think this will be him stamping the last of his legacy down on paper. Who does he go against? I wouldn't know, because AEW changes, and AEW may be different. AEW may be different, as we know it. They may have a new TV rights deal, that's coming soon, and there's a lot of things happening for AEW. Moving parts are happening. But Jack Perry being back is good. Hook losing, that needed to happen, honestly. I wanted Hook to lose.
That title needs to fucking go. I'm tired of seeing it.
Yeah, I think we all are.
If it's not sanctioned, then stop having matches for it. If it either sanction it or don't. I'm sick of the fucking wishy-washy bullshit.
I never understood why they had that title. Never understood it. I never got why they let them do that. Because that just, again, it's shit like that. And it's like,
Khan, okay, the reason why that is, I'll interrupt you, is because Tony Khan is an ECW mark. If you didn't pick up on it by now, he's an ECW mark that likes nostalgia things. So the FTW belt was a unsanctioned title in ECW back in the day with Taz, because Taz was hurt and they wouldn't give him the world heavyweight title in ECW, so he created his own. So during the pandemic, to make Cage look strong, which failed, because Cage didn't look strong. Cage almost left the company. Bryan Cage, the Machine, almost left AEW 6 months later. They put the FTW belt to please him, and then that's when it became a thing. And Tony Khan came out and said, this is an unsanctioned title. And then, to me, here's my thing with this, right? Where's the rules? I was pointing that out to Phantom. You remember when WWE would come up with the thing that comes up on the board that tells you what the rules are?
Yeah, they'd have a little card. Like I think I still remember what FTW rules are. I think it's like false count anywhere and no disqualification, but still, just like let someone fucking know what the rules are.
Yeah, I'm like, when did Aubrey Edwards is sliding like a snake out the ring, going 1, 2, 3, and she's over here 1, 2. I'm like, is this an? I had to ask you. I had to ask you personally, like, what are the rules? Do you know? And you were like, yeah, it's a hardcore match technically, anywhere goes. And I was like, oh, okay.
Just turn the FTW championship into a hardcore championship. If you want hardcore matches, just do that. Then everyone knows what the rules are. There's no fucking rules. Easy.
Right. Basically, what they should do is Jericho should just take a lighter in a trash can or a dumpster and just throw it in there and let it go.
Just burn it.
And then Tony Khan next week just introduces a new AEW belt, but then that pisses people off because if you
AEW has too many belts.
If you're a bit
how
around
many
my
belts
channel,
do they have?
12.
No,
12.
12.
WWE,
Okay,
no,
you
actually
have 12
14.
belts.
WWE has 14. God. They have 14. I think TNA has 12.
Okay, let me ask you this question now. The WWE belts, what are they individual championship belts? Like,
yes.
Like, are those belts like it's the 3 world champions, it's the 3 tag champions, the 3 women champions, and like that fuck around belt.
Okay, so WWE,
right?
so WWE is about to get rid of, because we talk about everything when we review things here. So WWE is already talking about getting rid of the women's tag team belts for an intercontinental belt. That's a good thing. That's a good thing because the tag team belts
is cursed.
No, you know what you need to do.
Belts are cursed.
No, you know what you need to do. What you need to honestly do. If you want people to love pro wrestling again, this is what you do. You take a look at your women's roster, you take a look at your men's roster, and you take a look at them and you say, we're going to go back to a time where we don't care. We have the Netflix deal. Okay? We can do what we want. Right. After the Netflix deal goes into place and you're on Netflix, you can say and do whatever you want for the most part. I mean, yeah, there's going to be some restrictions, of course. But you can do whatever you want.
I think they're doing that. I think they're doing that now. I think they're doing that now with Tama Tonga beating the shit out of Kevin Owens. Speaking of SmackDown, yeah, they're kind of doing. They're showing blood a little bit more.
Yeah.
I think that TV PG is going to go up to TV 14 or 13, 14. I think they're going to turn the gas up a little bit on that. They have to. Their audience is now becoming more mature now. Older people, the people that left during the WCW era, right, that fucking hate wrestling, came back somewhat when Punk was around, and now are coming back again because here he is again, the man of the hour, Punk. Love him, hate him, he's a ratings draw, however you want to go there. So to be honest, people are turning back in. Literally, Raw is getting 3 to 4 million people to watch a week. So it's I like the new WWE. I think it's great things. I hope they continue to do great things just as much as I want to see AEW turn it around. And I think tonight, putting the belt on Strickland was the best thing because Samoa Joe, honestly, how much further could you go with that? Samoa Joe is kind of becoming ice cold.
Like Samoa Joe, like no offense, he's still a beast, but he's old. All right? Samoa Joe's old. You got to put in somebody new, and that's why they put Strickland. Like, Strickland will be a good champion. He's a very deserving champion. He's a very deserving talent. Like, there's a lot of talent out there that deserve pushes, and Strickland got it, which is good.
Let me read a comment in the YouTube section real quick. Can you see Jon Moxley ever being AEW champion again? Yes, but right now he's taken a step back to allow things happening. Jon Moxley's kind of your face of AEW in a way because he's signed for the most years for your company. And when it's all said and done, he will probably be number 3 behind Danielson running that company next to Tony Khan. That's how much faith he has in Moxley. Moxley did take a step back to go work for New Japan to help them because New Japan is bleeding by the day. They're losing talent by the day because of bad contracts, if you haven't read in the news. So Moxley's going over, and he always wanted to win the IWGP World Heavyweight title, and he's going to be holding that title for a while. But he'll still be on AEW television representing the title, not as an open challenge every week, but making it special. That's why you're seeing Will Hobbs stepping up to the plate for the first title defense for him, which is good for Will Hobbs because Will Hobbs needs things like that right now. Will Hobbs needs to be rebelt up personally in AEW. They've really botched him, honestly. I don't mean
Well,
to
you know,
say
Will
that.
Hobbs, man. Like, you know, Hobbs is a big dude. Like, that guy should be winning gold.
Well, they
Like,
showed it during the show that John Moxley and Will Hobbs are having a match on Wednesday.
Yep. So
that's good.
hopefully I know Moxley's gonna retain, right? I pretty much believe that. But Will Hobbs will have a good showing though. Will Hobbs is starting to do different moves. And I think they're putting a lot of stock value back into him. I think Don Callis is helping him a lot with that. I think he needed a manager behind him, and Don Callis is doing what he needs to do. But yeah, AEW tonight, I would say, was a solid B+ show tonight for me. I would say 7.75 all day. It was, I won't say it's a tier above Revolution. I still think Revolution's got my heart still because of what happened with Sting and Darby and all that. And I think they did good storytelling to build that pay-per-view. This one kind of going into it was a little bit, Tony Khan, what are we doing? You had a clear focus, and then you went and started doing the footages and all that, and it just, made me kind of go, eh. But then turn it around the last week, and then, going into this, I had no expectations, and my expectations were met. So that's just my opinion on how these gentlemen feel.
I mean, I just enjoy wrestling. Like I haven't really been keeping up with AEW. I was able to sit down, watch the show. I got what was going on for the most part, and I'm like, good wrestling. I'm okay with that. Couple little botches here and there, not a huge deal. Hopefully Danielson's all right, and like I said, I enjoy wrestling, so I don't have any big hiccups about this show. So I'd give it like a nice 75, 80.
All right, hell yeah, there you go. There we go. Brady only watched a couple of matches, but I like him being part of the review. Anyway, what did you think for the matches you watched? What did you think?
Other than Bryan getting hurt, it was pretty solid. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. The whole Young Bucks beating the hell out of who it's what's their name? Is it FTR?
FTR.
FTR. Them beating the hell out of FTR, from what I've seen, was an amazing match. And then the end, that Strickland match, fantastic. I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch it because I'm gonna have to go and find a place to grab it. But yeah, no man, it's gonna be a great. It was a great pay-per-view from what I've seen.
Icon, how did you feel?
It was fantastic.
I know you've been kind of wonky on AEW, kind of like 1 foot in the door, 1 foot out the door, not feeling it. What did you think? What do you think with this pay-per-view?
Well, I felt like it's a little bit more better this time. I know that for sure. Like, I know I was kind of wonky after Tony Khan kind of have kind of copy him with the video kind of release, but I kind of gave it a little bit more of a relaxed view this round, so I kind of gave a little bit more credit where the more of the actions there, and honestly the matches which is really solid. So
well, I'm gonna leave it here. You guys like the show. Guys, we do, I'm just to tell you guys, we do Monday Night Raws, we do NXTs, we do Dynamites, we do pretty much all the wrestling shows around here. We do watch parties for a little bit of everything. We're also going to have a watch party for the Mike Tyson, because I have Netflix. We're going to be doing Mike Tyson and, Jake Paul here on the channel.
Man.
Go ahead.
No, that could be a good
The
match.
Walking Dead man, Jake Paul.
Yeah, we're going to be watching that anyway for the hell of it. We're going to be watching, I'm going to introduce maybe some UFC on this show. A lot of you here on my channels have been asking about UFC. Why I don't do UFC if I do wrestling? It's just I don't have enough time in the world, man. Like to sit here, and sometimes wrestling goes off at the same time as UFC, so it's really hard to cover. And I've been asked about PFL. Too much in a day, man. If I could, if there was like 5 of me, if I had a whole team of people reviewing, there would be a different story. You know, if I was making money at this and doing it, I had a team of people, that would be a different story. I would have a whole, I'd have a whole team. We'd have a whole writing staff, things like that. That's the goal. That's the dream. But at the end of the day, it's only one of me. So there's only 24 hours in a day, and a lot of people have to work. And unfortunately, not everybody is in the boat like I am to sit down and watch wrestling all the time, or sports in general. So I totally get it. But it was nice to have these gentlemen here. It was nice. Phantom making his debut on the channel. I appreciate you, homie. Hopefully we do this more, for sure. I know you've been talking about you're practicing to become a wrestler and things like that, or training to be one.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. Unfortunately, I'm currently injured with a partial tear in a tendon in my forearm. But once that heals up, I'm gonna be joining a local wrestling school.
So hopefully we can see you a little bit more on the show, since you like wrestling. You like, I know me and you have been talking back and forth. Don't ever be a stranger. I do this all the time. So Brady's back in the fold. I know Brady's gonna, he works and stuff and has a family. So it's always nice to have Brady here. It's always nice to have Icon. So you'll primarily see Icon with me most of the time, and then you'll see Phantom and sometimes Brady around when Brady has free time, when he's not busy. But that's the goal here. This is the crew. This is what I'm trying to do. This is what I'm trying to build. Have people come in and we do watch-alongs, reviews, and have a good time and a blast. And eventually, when this gets bigger and bigger and bigger, the people I have on the show, like I've told Icon and I've told everybody here, if I ever get super chats, anything like that, that gets split between the crew that I'm with, the guests, the people, because I feel, they're the ones helping. You guys are the ones helping me, and I feel giving back, the revenue and things like that, because, you guys help me, it's the way I see it. But when that day happens, it'll be badass and stuff like that. So thank you guys for this week, this month in general, man. Like, you guys have been killing it. Seriously. Josh coming around, everybody just coming and hanging out with all of us, man. Everybody wanting to be involved in what I'm doing. And I appreciate that, because I'm going to do more of it. You guys like long form. I'm going to try to do more of it. Eventually this stuff will be over on Spotify for you guys, so you guys can listen to it as you're driving. So I got a lot of you guys out there that are truck drivers, and I hear from you. Trust me, I hear from you guys. I hear from everybody around the IWC, YWC. And yeah. And some of you guys like my savageness. I don't know why. You guys just like my savageness when it comes to talking wrestling. I'm just a passionate wrestling fan. I hear you guys. And we're all passionate wrestling fans up in here. Unless we start talking about like certain subjects, like certain football conversations, like best MVP of all time and shit like that. You guys should be here in my streams sometimes when that shit happens. But thank you guys. I know there's a few bigger channels out there on YouTube that are doing these big channels. So stick around. If you're on my other streaming platforms, we're gonna switch to some gaming. I'm going to figure out what Brady wants to do and what Icon wants to do. And if Phantom wants to stick around and play some games with us, feel free. And if you're on the YouTube side, stick around. There's going to be another stream coming to you guys of stuff. I don't know what else did I miss anything from did we cover everything AEW wise? Because I don't want somebody in my comment section, some nerd or geek, coming into my comment section and being like, cover. I'm like, oh, great. Cool. Nothing on Danielson so far, so I can confirm this for you guys. There is nothing so far about Danielson. No updates yet on Yokozaki suffered an injury. Another Josie pro wrestler hurt in AEW. So we have Rio hurt, and then we have Rio's out with visa difficulties. So guys, AEW, they are drowning with injuries. And Samoa Joe looked like he got hurt tonight, so AEW can't stop the injury bug for some reason. So, there's that. The Blade is out with a lower back injury in AEW. That was also confirmed. If you guys didn't hear, I'm ready for Toni Storm to lose the title eventually. Well, I don't think she's losing the title anytime soon, though. Unless it's Britt Baker coming back. If it's Britt Baker, then I could see her losing. Because Britt Baker's been having back issues as much as that. If you guys didn't know, Matt Hardy is back in TNA. Oh no, Matt Hardy is not signed with TNA. Let me take that back for you. Matt Hardy is a free agent still following his TNA Rebellion appearance. He said he's just going to be a traveling person. And I forgot to mention this. Sami Callihan, if you guys are Sami Callihan fans, and I know a lot of you in my community are, he was back at TNA last week, or back at TNA this week. So, the Death Machine is back in TNA, so there's that. So anyway, I'll see you guys. Peace out. Thank you guys all for hanging out and doing the watch along with me today. And we'll be switching to some gaming. Have a good one.